Okay, so let's take a little pause here just for a moment. So let's get ourselves situated. Zeta Division won the pistol. They won the follow-up round fairly easily. They're on the defense side. It's their bonus. DRX are attacking. DRX are running the very standard comp. It's a mirror comp on both sides. And Foxy9 is subbed in for Buzz. Okay, are we processing this? Are we processing the context? We're starting to. All right. Let's have a look then. So starting stuff out here, Zeta have got a triple stack over behind the turret on B, which is an interesting idea to try and stop a fast B hit coming through right at the beginning of the round. Shock dart to try and break an alarm bot, which isn't there. It's over at Catwalk instead. And this turret presumably is going to take contact, but I'm not huge on this trap play because by the time the turret takes contact here, they're almost around the corner already, and they could very easily overwhelm these two. Besides which, 10 is kind of supporting. They have two players in market right now, but the problem is that 10 is playing anti-flash. He's just looking into the wall. So if someone, if the turret takes contact here and they're actually going quick and they just barrel around the corner, they're going to almost be in front of this flash by the time it pops. You need some level of warning. It might end up working out. DRX might be tentative enough to just get caught by this, but if they go quickly, I don't think this trap play works as well. What the fuck is that? What happened there? Flash. And yeah, like I said, they just went quickly enough. However, 10 was still able to get the trade kill, so no disaster there. But the actual trap play element didn't work, right? Exactly what I said. Foxy ended up going too quickly there for the turret contact to work out. So, just not a great setup. Doubling up in market there, it does exactly the same thing without the turret taking contact. Good nade there from Stacks. Pushes back that player that would be trying to spam and put damage through. And meanwhile, you've got a mid lurk going on here. Got RB coming on the back. Right, what on earth is Stacks doing? Oh, so they throw a recon dart over the top here, and nobody breaks it, and there's a smoke in Stacks' face. So instead of backing off and trying to deal with the recon dart, he uses the fact that the line of sight is blocked by this smoke and tries to sneak up behind the recon. Which is not the worst play in the world. It's just about whether or not you think you have a timing. But I generally really dislike post planters pushing onto heaven in post plants. I think it rarely works. So he ends up dying here, and no one breaks the recon dart. Zest ends up falling as well. So now Mako's just got to buy time for RB. And he does. He gets the spam down well. And he's so fucking good, but RB's been killed. So he probably doesn't win this. Yeah. So a bit of a overly aggressive play from DRX in the post plant. I think part of the reason why it's unnecessary as well is just you already have RB coming on the flank, right? Like you already have these guys coming around. Maybe if Stacks manages to pull off this first kill, he stalls them out for long enough that RB's flank is fantastically timed. But I would prefer them to play more dug-in spots. Okay. 3v3 very quickly. And Mako caught on the lurk. Nade already used by Stacks, so he's not going to be able to use that in an attempt to take down the lockdown. So what does Stacks do here? Well, he gets one, but he's just going to be... He gets two! Why does Depp dash onto him before he's detained? Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty shit from Depp. Big round from Mako, though. Mako getting 2 off the rip to make it a 5v3 on the site and establish themselves to the post is pretty big. And then they just gave an extra kill to Stacks. Stacks does all right going 1 for 1 there. But giving him 2 is egregious. Just no need. Why would there be any need to dash into Stacks? Why would you not just try and kill him with your rifle after he's detained? Oh yeah, Foxy was clearly super talented in the games that I watched of him previously. He hasn't had a very good start to this map, actually, but he looked good in their previous games before locking. Whoa, here we go, Shark Attack. Paranoia pushed through as well. And good reaction to it from DRX. Oh, I thought it was, but RB ended up turning his back to it. Still, a nice reaction into the A site. Oh, and Mako just escapes. One bullet there would have done it. So, one of the great things about doing a Shark Attack play on this map is that often the reaction is funnel A for your opponents. And even if you don't get any kills out of it, or let's say you get one kill like this situation, you end up being in a position as the defenders where you are usually going to control this, and you're usually going to control this, and you're also going to control this entrance, and you're going to control this passageway back in too. The attackers are not often going to try and push heaven and try and reclaim this whole area because it's really difficult to fight around. Occasionally you'll lose tree because the attackers will come through and just push like this. But even if you do, the attackers only then control this kind of area, and you're still flanking them from one angle, you know, potentially two angles if they are in tree, 3, 4 spots. So it can be a really powerful thing, even if you end up in a 5v5 retake, because you just control so much of the map, and you're on really fast flanks for the retake too. We'll see whether ZETA are able to use that. But it doesn't look like they're particularly going quickly. Laz is really worried that someone's pushed. I could see DRX doing that. They're a good enough team that they could push A heaven in this spot. But most teams won't. Sure. So this retake ended up being butt cheeks. Every single part of their retake failed, and they also didn't have a main control. I think that committing at least 2 players heavily to this flank is really important after you've done this kind of Shark Attack play, because taking this spot away from the post planters creates so much pressure and so few angles that you can play safely on site. You can't play this side of Dice anymore. You can't play this side of Jenny anymore. You can't play Hell positions that face towards A main. And that really limits the spots that you can play in. I think they just misunderstood and treated it like a normal retake. How does DFM compare to ZETA? DFM to me look quite a bit worse. At least ZETA have some things that they do fairly well, and they have some players like, you know, Laz and Sugar Zero who are normally going to give you good performances in the map. 10 is very up and down. Depp is extremely up and down. Crow is usually down. But Laz and Sugar Zero are at least very consistently good, even against tier 1 opposition. Recon Dart takes a bit long to break there, but Crow still gets one. And then doesn't realize that Zest could have run up and is pre-aiming a pretty terrible angle there. Yeah, these 3v3 retake situations, ZETA are struggling quite a lot. So Depp dashes into his smoke, decides to pull out the judge in this spot. Like, what the fuck is the judge gonna do here when there's a player almost certainly playing Jenny? And even if there's a player there, you're not killing them with the judge instead of the knives? Why would you go for that? I don't know what he's doing. Don't know what he's doing. He's also not making space for Laz. He's baiting Laz there because he dashes into his smoke and he waits for Laz to swing and he waits for Laz to die before he comes out of his own smoke. So it's not like he's even creating a threat and then, you know, playing his teammate in. He's just straight up baiting him and then going for a judge kill. It's just poo. Alright, so not a great half for ZETA. So dash in, Paranoia comes through as well. A flash. No one's actually pushing up though. Alright. Is anyone gonna walk forwards at all? They all died without crossing this line. They all died without crossing this line. Like, they're just the most fucking timid team in the world. What? Again, Depp is not using any of the Sova utility. There's a fucking drone here that's seeing people, doesn't try to challenge. There's a recon dart that lights up Mako at the back of Generator. He doesn't try to challenge. Look at this, man. Why aren't you pushing up? Why aren't you trying to apply pressure? You're allowing these sight anchors to hold on for so long that these rotators are going to come in, start facing on heaven, and suddenly you have to deal with 3 people or 4 people instead of 2. They've completely missed their timing by playing like cowards. That's a very poor Ascent A execute. The scaling is really bad. Yeah, I don't really know why they would put... I would... If I was running this team and looking at the roles... I think I'd rather have Laz playing the KO here, but I don't know. I don't think it matters too much anyway. You can have a massive impact on Sova on this map too, but it doesn't look like Laz is super comfortable. He's not getting an amazing amount of impact despite being, what is he, like 13-7 or something? He's just not... Was he? No, he can't be 13-7, can he? Oh, no, he is, yeah. But yeah, he's not really getting very much impact with his... He's not able to... get kills off his utility, have Depp follow up on things, but I don't think a lot of that is his fault particularly. So Depp is playing aggressively now. The 0 point, smoke mid, Depp decides to just run through the smoke. I don't really have a problem with that. I think sometimes Depp's going to look silly there when there's somebody holding market, but a lot of the time he's going to be able to take that space for free. Deep smoke as well as Depp backs up. And this, from our point of view, looks like it's going to be an A split. So, how does Stax deal with this? He's got a nade that's going to be really useful here. That's a lot of... Yep, so nade is going to be the best thing to go for here. I mean, actually, a knife would have been really good, but you already used the knife. But, I mean, using the knife to cancel this drone by throwing it towards this corner would be... and I think it reaches. I think it just reaches this spot. I might be wrong about that, though. But I think it does. Anyway, he uses the knife. He finds good info. He's going to use the nade to block this off as well. And this should really disrupt the ZETA hit. Oh, they also have a paranoia. I'd rather see the nade go through first, but... Stax swings through before the molly comes through and off the back of the paranoia, so I think that's also a good way of doing this. I think ZETA will still be able to bring it to teams like T1 and Global. It's hard to tell now at the beginning of the season, the comparison between those kind of teams, but I would imagine that ZETA is going to be able to play against those kind of teams and not just get outclassed. And now as the drone comes through... Yeah... It's not that I think this is a terrible timing or anything from Mako, but when... I just think that Mako can probably survive here for quite a bit longer and get sneakier kills on these kind of people. Like, I don't think he has to give away his position immediately by paranoiaing. He has a jet that's looking to hold this angle for him, so it's not like these guys are sneaking up on him, right? Mako knows he's not about to get pushed. He knows there's nobody in front here because Foxy9's just got onto this angle, so I think he could probably get more work done without the paranoia here. Now they know where he is, they should really be looking for him. Also, what the fuck is the spike doing, guys? Hello, Spiky Spiky. Spiky Spiky. I mean, ZETA are just completely lost here. They don't know whether to deal with Mako or get the spike into the site or try to fight the AWPer. They're just confused. They're just confused. Hello! You need to go and kill Mako!
This is tough, man. They both know they're there. No one... Foxy taking a bit of damage. They spray up into heaven. Depth, I think, is slightly off angle. Now they spot him.
Okay, Mako does eventually go down to Sugar Zero in the most delayed 1v1 of all time.
There's another in hell. Pink's coming across. He whips on the right. pass, however, still Howard gets tagged up just a bit. Down to 45 HP. After the spike, the drop down from Heaven, and suddenly it's just Zest, and he will end up falling.
ZETA win that round. ZETA win that round. I mean, if Mako wins the 1v1 against Sugar Zero, DRX definitely win that round. But they make a gamble that their Omen's going to be able to outplay the other Omen without any damage being done, and they guess correctly, I suppose. Don't think it looked like a very great game plan, though. Alright, we're going to see some mid-aggression? No, Foxy9 is still opping from here. Oh, he gets a collat.
Just pushes the corner. Everyone's staring at the mid-arches. No one has eyes on Foxy. 2 quick kills to just snatch the wind right out of the sails of ZETA.
Oh, that should be the game. Foxy cheating? Yeah. Classic Foxy is cheating moment.
Now they are completely and utterly worthless. Zizcore plays it dead on the floor. Nice little snipe. Lies again looking to recreate some of that magic we saw earlier, but this
Oh, wow, this is a bold push from Zest.
Crow with a nice lurk, however, does find Zest.
It just... I don't really understand what Zest is doing with that push, considering they're in a 5v3, and they know that people haven't committed through these choke points because they have eyes on them. I think there's probably some serious miscommunication going on there. I guess they don't actually have eyeballs on Catwalk. But by this point, they do. Like, by this point, they have full eyeballs on Catwalk, full eyeballs on A main. And he still just decides to run up looking at top mid. So, very unusual decision making there from Zest. Miscommunication, you call it? I call it feeding. Yeah, maybe he had some money on ZETA Division. I think that would be a very unwise investment, though. Yeah. I hope the Japanese viewership continues to be good, even though the Japanese teams are not going to do very well. I suppose I should say even if, but I really feel like it's even though. Oh, Foxy. Go on, get it. Go on, get it. Go on, get it, King. Go on, get it. Go on, get it. Alright, fair enough. That was not a good map. I mean, DRX looked pretty competent, apart from the moments where they were doing a bit of trolling, like Stacks just playing weirdly on the KO around Catwalk and Generator, and Zest just running into mid and stuff like that. But I think they were just so much better than ZETA Division.